5 years in office, X-raying the fight against corruption, insecurity, inequality, and the way forward. That was our topic for this meeting edition of the Ground Zero Town Hall meeting. And indeed, it was a very, very rich meeting because we had people from different parts coming in to tell us their take on the issues that we brought in. On the program, we had Dr. Obadiah Melafia as he presented the keynote address, while Mr. Dasuki, the DG of Bureau for Public Service Reform, well, he took the alternative presentation by bringing Buhari's 5 years in office, the fight against corruption and inequality through public service reforms. He handled that aspect, and indeed it was also very rich. And the panelists today included Dr. Obadiah Melafia, Dr. Cosmas Anyakudo, Comrade Abdul Bako Usman. He is the president of the Campaign for Democracy. We also had Comrade Chris Isiguzo, the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. He was a panelist. Of course, you know, Dasuki Barry was part of them. It was quite very, very rich. Also, we had Gloria Balasin from the House of Justice. She was also part of them, and other members that were part of the general discussions that we had today. And in the course of the town hall meeting, people brought different parts and different aspects of what they feel about the fight against corruption, insecurity, and of course inequality. And like I said, it was indeed very rich. Next week, Tuesday, we'll be giving you the comprehensive details of what transpired at the town hall meeting. But for today, we will just look at an aspect of it. And the aspect of the town hall meeting that we will be looking at today is the area where the participants did their ratings of the Buhari administration. They gave their ratings, and it was also very, very interesting. So I'll just urge you to sit back, relax, and listen to these ratings by participants and panelists at the Ground Zero Town Hall meeting. And I will start, first of all, with our first guests, and let's just listen to it.
Thank you very much, Joel. I'm very used to marking. It's just finished the marking season in the UK, so it's very hard to score A, except you've done excellently. I would mark. To be honest with you, the government are very weak passes for corruption. And I know that is a very big task. But looking at the resources that have been in, how strategies have been implemented, the continuity they proposed with the heads of services staying on and everything all put together, the intelligence gathering, I'll give them a weak pass for corruption. For insecurity, to be honest with you, that would be a fail, because it's a failure of both the strategy, I think. It's a failure of both the deployment of resources, and it's also a failure of implementation. If that was a student giving me a paper, I would score that a fail for insecurity. And then for inequality, I think that will be because of the economic recovery plans, because of the strides that were made in the budgets, and it's not just throwing money at it. Because of I know there's been a lot of borrowing, and a lot of people think that the borrowing is not bringing it. But altogether, I would give that a pass. I will give that a fair pass of 50% because of the when they came in, the price of oil, what has now happened in the past few months. I will give that a pass.
Right.
But I think it's a weak pass also. So
okay.
no bright colors there for the government. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's come to Comrade Chris Isiguzo. He is also going to do his rating. After that, we'll move to Comrade Abdul Bako. Well, since Comrade Abdul Bako is already unmuted, let's just take Comrade Abdul Bako. After that, we'll go to Comrade Chris Isiguzo. Yes, Comrade Abdul Bako, in these three departments, or these three areas, what would be your rating? Quickly.
For security, the system has failed us woefully. Haven't seen that even in the corridors of power, where if there is a shootout, okay, there's an overthrow of government. That is the presidential villa. We had one not quite long, where the SA run for his dear life. So I think for inequality, I believe high-handedness, nepotism, sectionalism is much. For me too, it's a fair, it's a total failure too on that aspect. And for fight against corruption, you agree with me? Yeah, you agree with me that if who is saddled with the responsibility to recovery loot has been questioned about relooting such loot, I think it will also spell doom, and the rhetorical statements and experience that are coming from government personnel, the likes of 13.5 for feeding of El Zazaki and 14 for feeding of inmates daily. I think I will equally rate them as fail in that aspect of corruption too. Thank you.
All right, Abdul, thank you so much. We'll come to Comrade Chris Isiguzo to also give his ratings of the performance of Buhari's administration in the past 5 years in the areas of corruption, insecurity, and inequality. Okay, Comrade Chris.
Well, thank you very much. We have the views that I have so far expressed. I think I've substantially captured the rating I have about the administration regarding the issue of insecurity, corruption, and inequality. I think they have been made very clear. In the area of insecurity, no doubt we need to up our game, because what presently obtains is not the best that we should have. And that's why I called for an overhaul of the nation's security architecture to be able to face the realities, confront the realities that we have in the system at this point in time. The administration, I would not say has failed, because at a point I was in the Northeast. In fact, I had to go on a tour of that zone. I visited the 6 states of the zone. I went by road also, and I did that deliberately. Bauchi, Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Adamawa, and Taraba states, 6 of them. And by the time I saw firsthand the situation there, it dawned on me that the government has not completely failed, because they are also doing a whole lot there. And the Boko Haram issue, at least within the period I visited there, which of course was earlier this year, had been downgraded. But it does appear that somehow they are still operating in some areas. For the government to have been able to recover about 14 local government areas that were ab initio held within the Boko Haram authorities, it simply says a lot of what government has done. But it's not uhuru yet. Government has got to also up the game in that area. Then in the area of anti-corruption fight, I've also made it clear earlier on that the government is sure doing something, because if you get very close to the system, you would appreciate what the government is doing. But because the problem has become so deep is deep-rooted, that it requires a concerted and a consistent effort for us to be able to take Nigeria out of the doldrums as regards corruption. You know, like I said earlier on, it does exist in the sinews of our bones. At every sector, you see those that are involved in corruption or corrupt activities one way or the other. So government has got to also be more committed. When sometimes you see people say that it is selective, but there's one thing you must know. If there are 100 criminals and you've been able to take care of 2 persons, whether or not they belong to your enemies, you have reduced the number by 2. It's now 98. So whether selective or not selective, it means that people are being held. You know, so that number cannot return to the system. You have taken care of them. By the time another administration comes, we'll also accuse them of being selective. And I can assure you, they are not going to face those that have been taken care of. They will also remove another number of people. So with time, these things will fizzle out. It's something that we need to imbibe as a lifestyle, you know, and begin to fight it. In the area of inequality, of course, the lower class and upper class, that's what we have. The middle class is gone. I think government has got to be more open to those they lead. Those in authorities must have to be more open, because it appears we have so much secrecy in the system. The people must have to come to terms with what is really happening within the corridors of power, you know, and so that Nigerians will appreciate that they have government, they have at least to some extent put in place. So it is work in progress. It is not a one-off thing. It's work in progress. We'll continue to make efforts at every little corner where we have found ourselves. We must have to make contributions. I recall what President Olusegun Obasanjo said during the time he held sway as a president. He said that if you wake up in Sokoto and sweep your house, and the man in Umuahia wakes up and does the same thing, the man in Ogbomosho does the same thing in Oyo State, another in Calabar or Akwa Ibom does the same thing, and every one of us does the same thing at our different homes, Nigeria clearly will be clean. So it's not about pointing fingers. It requires collective effort, collective responsibility for us to take Nigeria out of the woods. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Comrade Chris Isiguzo, the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Okay, is Melafia still on? I can't see.
I'm here.
Okay, now, what would also be your rating of the performance of the Buhari administration in 5 years, looking at corruption, insecurity, and inequality?
I'm sorry, I cannot be limited like that. I started my career as an academic. I rose up to the position of associate professor and head of department at Regent's Business School in London before joining the African Development Bank. So I'm used to grading students and rating them. I will tell you the story of George Bush, the younger George Bush. He went to a school called Phillips Exeter Academy in Massachusetts. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am.
And he's a first-year student, pupil in the Phillips Exeter. By the way, it's the best boarding school in America, in the whole of America. All the children of the elites go to that school. And young George was not a serious student at all. He was always running up and down, doing pranks. He wasn't studying at all. So he wrote his first essay, and his teacher looked at the essay. In fact, it was English, but it was not English. So he couldn't mark it. All he could write was, if there was something that lower than an F, I would have given it to you. But unfortunately, in the grading system, there's nothing lower than an F. I am sorry to say, sir, if there was anything lower than an F, I would have given this regime. See, the first duty of government, the very first duty of government in political philosophy, from Aristotle and Plato to Ibn Khaldun to Gladstone to The greatest political statesman of the world, the first duty of government is to secure the common peace. Any government that fails in that elementary task has failed. So I am sorry to say this government is a capital and complete failure. It cannot keep the peace. I'm an economist. Look at all the statistics. We're the world capital of poverty. Our infrastructures are in shambles. Lawlessness everywhere. No one is secure. The country has no purpose, no vision, no direction. We're here talking like children. Talk to the senior people in Afenifere, in Ebola, and the rest, the South. Let me tell you, they are all thinking of how to break away from this country. I don't want Nigeria to break away. I don't want the country to collapse. I love Nigeria as it is. I want this country to become a great nation, a progressive nation. But what we have today is an apology. It's a disgrace. Don't try to whitewash it. Don't even try to whitewash it. If there was anything worse than F, they deserve it. I rest my case.
Okay, I would say those are very, very harsh and tough words. And
it's because I love Nigeria. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Nigeria. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I wanted to say that I wouldn't be very happy to be your student because your grading skills are quite steep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very, very hard in my marking grade. Yeah. My wife was my student, by the way. After she married me, she was my student. Let me tell you, I used to reserve the worst grade for her because she's my wife and she must do better.
Wow.
I'm telling you the truth. That's me. That's my own philosophy.
Okay. Before I invite Danjuma to give the final parting words of this session, would like to, the DG, Bureau for Public Service Reforms, not to respond to any of this, but to give us a word of hope, because as it stands, you are the only government person that is with us today. So what's that word of hope that's coming from the government to Nigerians?
Thank you very much, Ehis.
Yes.
Thank you very much, distinguished guests on the platform. Despite the minus F given by my senior brother, we are hopeful that things will get better. As Bureau of Public Service Reforms, we are daily working around the clock. As I finish this meeting, I have an engagement in our office, coming up with policies and programs that will guide government. Government is not sleeping. Government is not insensitive to all the accusations and all the problems that we have. But I want us, as we go home, to remember that beyond government, there are followers. And we collectively are Nigerians. And we have to support this government, join the cultural reorientation that Dr. Cosmos was talking about, to see that how we can individually put on our corners in good shape. Once we individually put our corners in good shape, and these building blocks will come together and improve the nation. So we're here, we're providing service, we're hopeful that it will be better. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. So I'll now invite Danjuma Abbas Dangwa from the Coalition of Association of Leadership, Peace, Empowerment, and Development, CALPED. They provided so much backbone for all of this engagement. I would say I do not have enough words to appreciate them. Let me invite CALPED now. They are a civil society organization and advocating for good governance.
Thank you so much, Mr. We appreciate the efforts Ground Zero and Innovator FM have put on to this engagement. We're thankful for bridging that gap between local civil society and the Bureau for Public Service Reforms, and us are blessed with what the strategies are in helping nation building. At this point in time, we want to also appreciate the participants and civil society media partners that you will continue to support and advance the cause for good governance. The time, the date you have spared to share with us so that we are on the same page on what government is desiring to achieve. Thank you all for the fair criticisms and hoping that we will actually have action points to champion more robust advocacy that Nigeria and citizens both local and foreign are hoping to.
All right. Thank you so much, Danjuma Abbas Dangwa, for all of this. I want to individually appreciate everybody that has been a part of this and for the time that you have invested in this town hall meeting that we held today. It shows indeed that we all are passionate about developing and growing our country, Nigeria. I want to thank Dr. Obadiah Melafia. How I wish it wasn't the technical issues we had earlier. You had prepared something for us. But that notwithstanding, this is just the first. It's something that Invicta FM intends carrying out every month. Every month we'll pick up key issues within that month and we'll organize a town hall meeting like this where we'll all come together and talk about it. Of course.
And please, I'm not so harsh. I'm not such a harsh person. It's just that what I'm seeing in our country and the suffering of our people breaks my heart. I'm a village person. I go to my village and the suffering is so much that you feel like, I don't know. So that is why my heart is broken. I love this country. I love all the corners of this country, all the religions, all the tribes, all the cultures. I love them. And I want the best for our country. That is why I'm so stiff in my grading. I'm sorry.
Okay. And to the GG Bureau for Public Service Reforms, thank you so much for the time invested in this town hall meeting. And what we have gotten from this today will definitely be upscaled to the regular radio program. All that we are doing, we are going to stream it on all of our platforms on Invicta FM and also on the Ground Zero platform. We'll stream all of them and we'll pull out takeaways. And a whole lot of media persons have been here today that will also upscale it and use it in their various medium. Thank you so much, DG.
All right, those were bits and pieces of some items that came out from the town hall meeting that held earlier today. It was a virtual town hall meeting with an array of personalities being part of it. So let's take this message. We'll be back on the program because my guest, Eddie Ochidbo, is already seated and we'll generally have a look at the takeaways from it, and also you, the listener, you have the opportunity of adding your voice to all that we are discussing on the program today. All right, welcome back from that commercial timeout. All right, coming back to the studio, Eddie, you had some of the ratings that was given by our panelists earlier today at the Ground Zero Town Hall meeting. And the first one from Cosmos, that's Dr. Cosmos Ayankodu. He is a legal practitioner based in the UK, where he had his calls for the administration, scoring the administration a weak pass in the fight against corruption, scoring the administration fairly in the area of insecurity and inequality, insecurity a fail, while inequality a fair pass, was what Barrister Cosmos Ayankodu gave, while Dr. Obadiah Melafia gave this administration an all-round fail, just flat fail. He said he is not going to sugarcoat anything. Meanwhile, the NUJ president, Chris Isiguzo also gave a fair pass to the administration of Muhammadu Buhari in the past 5 years in the areas of fight against corruption, insecurity, and inequality. And who else? Basically, let's look at these ratings. First, were these ratings fair and good enough by your own estimation?
Thank you very much, Jahis. First of all, let me express my greetings to the listening public and to thank you for this wonderful town hall meeting, virtual town hall meeting that you've organized. I was part of some of the initial plans and the rest of it. So I want to thank you so much. It was quite a rich team of resource persons, including, people from overseas and, people like Obadia, associate professor and former deputy governor of Central Bank, quite rich. And then even our own dear president of the NUJ, Chris Isiguzo, and the rest of them. If you ask me, the ratings were quite correct, and it came from wide range of resource persons, people who can hold their own anytime, and we will need, since you said this will be a monthly issue, we will need more and more of such town hall meetings. But this one, I want to give you kudos. It's a success, even though we wanted it to be richer, but maybe as time goes on in the next editions, we will make it richer. Coming to the rating, I will want to toe the part of my president, the president of the NUJ, because by our training, I cannot just, do what Associate Professor Obadia did by saying that, no, these people have not done anything at all. And if you remember on your show a few weeks back, when you asked me about rating, I told you about 50-50.
I recall, yes.
That was what I said. I told you, if I remember vividly, I said, I will not say the administration has failed woefully. No, you cannot say an administration has failed woefully. They are trying. But given the spirit, that of the people that was overwhelming, that followed the president, whom we all knew was Mr. Integrity, or is Mr. Integrity, so to say. Given that spirit, I think that the people, are not too comfortable with the achievement.
Okay.
Because if you look at, first of all, the issue of insecurity today, they may have, as one of the resource persons, put it, and that is the president of the NUJ, they have recovered the 14 local government areas in the Northeast, because at the point, those local government areas were in the hand of the insurgents and the rest of them. But even if they have recovered those, what about banditry today? Kidnapping, raping. There's just nothing that the people don't feel secure at all. You cannot just be walking. You cannot leave your child, and think that he will come back safe. So the issue of insecurity, to my mind, the government has failed. Then, if you are talking of corruption fight, if you want to look at it again, yes, a lot of people, in terms of convictions by the EFCC, have been, put in jail. But if you look at it critically, it seems to be, it's not. I don't think it's working, because the SAR, the SAR of the corruption fight, which is the Magu, has been indicted to be relooting the loot.
Recovered loot.
And so I given against that background, I don't know whether the corruption fight is winning, whether they are winning the corruption fight. So by and large, the government still has about 3 years to go.
Yeah.
And the people are quite hopeless at this point. They need to give the people hope, because if you look at the situation today now, the rich between the gap between the rich and the poor is getting wider and wider. People are getting poorer, and we are getting billionaires, people who will just spring up from just mere recharge card seller to become billionaires overnight. I don't want to even get into details of that, but you know who I'm talking about. So the government, the federal government, especially the presidency, need to up its game and to give the people confidence, because from what we see today, it's as if the people are fast losing confidence in the government.
Okay.
And as I said, by my training, I will not say no, the government has not worked at all. There are areas they have succeeded, but this is not what the people expected. The people expected far much more than this from Buhari, whom they tagged as Mr. Integrity. You know, so this Mr. Integrity thing must work. Let it work. Let the integrity work.
All right.
You cannot say Mr. Integrity on the one hand, and then people are being killed every day, and the people are getting poorer and poorer, and so on and so forth. So I think the government needs to up its game in the next 3 years that they have. They have time to change the game.
All right. You've had the impression of my in-house analyst today, Eddie Ochibo. Let's now open the phone lines so the listener can also add their voice to our conversation. The number to dial is 081 40,989 and 07087800989. Let's find out who our first caller is. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Yus.
Good evening, Engineer Emmanuel.
May the Almighty God bless you. Your town hall meeting was more than a success.
Thank you so
Even
much.
how many English to quantify it is more than a success. And the Almighty God should continue to give you the initiative to carry this ground zero to a greater height.
Amen.
So, your answer, Engineer Emmanuel, I greet your guest there.
Thank you very much, Engineer Emmanuel.
Always saying it the way it is. It's not being controversial with the truth. He says the truth the way it is. You see, I've often said, and now I've been clarified, that what I've been hammering for, if you cannot secure lives and property of the citizens, is the failure of the part of the government. This is an administration that came on the mantras with three things: fighting corruption, fixing the economic, then insecurity. They say they should give them 3 months. For God's sake, we're in 6 years now, and the thing is very high. Kidnapping is there. The bandits are having a free day. The Boko Harams are having a free day, killing our gallant security agents. I think last week or this week, the spokesman of the army says it's not in their duty to announce who are the sponsor of these people. For God's sake, a spokesman of the army saying this. So who did he want him? Who did they want to point to them that these are the sponsor of this insurgent? So for me, on a nutshell, those honorable men have spoken is a failure of the part of this administration. Because in previous administration, we are having bombing and other things. There is no doubt about it. They say some local government. Now, is anything different? The kidnapping now is getting out of hand.
Okay.
For God's sake, so please, if they will do the needful, let them do it. In terms of corruption again, I've said it from the offset that I don't believe they are fighting corruption. Rather, they are pushing opposition. If the man, head of this corruption of the team, indicted that he has this thing in Dubai, they are relooting, they are recovering and relooting. So it's obvious. So on that, they are not fighting anything, please.
All right.
Good evening, Mr. E.
Thank you so much, Engineer Emmanuel. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Hi, Kinafa. Let's have your take.
You see, the view of your guests, it all depends from which side your guests are invited. They could be pro-government or anti-government. It all depends. And their view does not mean is the view of majority of Nigeria, though criticism is allowed. I welcome constructive criticism because without criticism, the nation cannot move forward. But for somebody to say fail is far from truth. Far from truth. And I also want to appreciate one of your guests, Dr. Mailafia, for apologizing his harshness. This is what is expected of all Nigeria. Sometimes our emotions make us to say some things. Honestly, I respect him for coming out to apologize, despite what he has said. It's a welcome move. I'm not saying that there is no challenges. There is challenges. If you said the president did not succeed in insecurity, all this kidnapping and this banditry in the northwest are elements of escape Boko Haram from northeast as a result of mass destruction of them. There is no doubt about that, because most of them have been sent out. Most of them have been sent to their earlier grave. Not that the military is not trying. If you say the military is not trying, I think Nigeria are not fair to the military.
Okay.
And for military to say that it is not their duty to expose, yes, military is their duty to go and bombard and kill. If they can arrest, they will make arrangements. They will make arrests. It is the duty of court and other security agencies like DSS and the National Intelligence Agency. They should tell Nigeria who are the sponsors of Boko Haram.
Okay.
Military is just to split the skull of the insurgency to hell. So we should appreciate our military. If you go to Maiduguri, you see graveyards of our soldiers, you cry. So if I want to say, I think we should be fair to our military. Thank you, Armem Bless, for giving me the opportunity to air my views.
Thank you so much, I.A. Kinafa. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Francis from Maraban Rido.
All right, Francis, let's have your take.
Thank you, sir. Honestly, I congratulate you for the this thing that go on today.
Yes, the town hall meeting.
The town hall meeting. I'm very happy to hear the voices of the people that you invited for the program.
Yes.
And to be sincere with you, Ogehi, if I'm to rate according to what is going on in this country,
yeah.
To be frank, the government has failed all round. Why did I say so?
Yeah.
The government have failed because all these things that we are talking about, we are rating them on their performances. It's something that they knew before coming to power, which they promised that they are coming to wipe away, clear, make it right. They knew about the corruption in the system. They knew about the insecurity. They knew about the inequality. In fact, the previous administration to say is even better in every aspect, because when the previous administration was on board, Nigeria was suffering from insecurity only in Northeast. And our soldiers was trying to curtail it. But this present government was mounting pressure on the previous government to stop insecurity at all costs, which they said they are coming to stop in less than 3 months. And now we are approaching 6 years in few months to come. And this insecurity have circulated all over the nation. And economy have failed woefully.
Okay.
So what are we talking about? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francis from Maraban Rido. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Ground Zero. Hello, good evening. Okay. Hello? Hello, good evening. We lost that one. Hello?
Hello?
Yes,
Good
we can
evening.
hear you now. Good evening.
What is the name?
All right, Mr. Kure, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Savo.
All right, let's have your take.
The rejected DRA. You cannot pass there without you washing your car, without you repairing your shock absorber and so on. So God is in control.
Amen. Yes.
My Francis have said it. Others have said it. Melafia have said it. If I'm to rate them, 25/100. That's just what they deserve. Because they told us before they came in, they knows all the problems. I was expecting them to put them in place, even though they give us time, but they didn't make it. I was expecting them to try and make it. Even though they cannot make it, everybody should go and sleep with his 2 eyes closed. But revise is the case. My own cousin brother was kidnapped. My own cousin brother, my own town village man was kidnapped just 3 months ago. So what are we saying? A general. Where did he get his own general? Is it in the Nigerian army that we know them the best out of the best? No. I can't take it. Honestly, the revise is the case. I keep on saying it. They keep on complaining. When the complaint has stopped, now they are telling us that they are trying. They didn't tell us they are trying, no, that they are coming to control it. So they should do it. If they want another aid, we will still give them another aid. But they must fulfill what they came to do. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kure. Hello. Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello. Good evening, Ace.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
My name is Gabriel, the Texas man.
All right. The Texas man. Let's have your take.
In fact, if we didn't thank you for this program, that means we are not grateful to Almighty God because we have done a lot. Indeed, I have done a lot. May the Almighty God bless you for enlightening us on this program.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say that I think to me it's not a question of rating. If you see one of your days there who was talking about infrastructure, taking Nigeria out of this number one as the poorest country in the whole world, and then making sure that at least all of us who are hungry to get food in our table. I think that's the most important thing. It's not going to rating. There's no high rate. If you rate either down or up, because one thing is that as we are doing this thing, maybe some people who are interested, who want to take word that look, the program they organize today is so either in your favor or against. So the rating there to me is nothing. Let the government listen to what has come out of this meeting and make sure that they put back all this infrastructure and give Nigeria jobs. Because if they didn't misplay their priorities by making sure that most of the industry, like today, refinery is not working, Ajokuta state is down. Most of these states that where I'm working is down. So let them try to see that these industries are properly back to their feet. Let Nigeria get jobs. And I assure you it is that once Nigeria is working, nobody is going to think about insecurity.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade Gabriel. Hello, good evening.
Mr. Ease, how are you?
Fine, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Just coming from Kaduna. My name is Mr. Bala.
All right, Musa Bala, let's have your take.
I've been hearing you small, but going by what is happening in the town hall meeting and what is taking place now.
Yeah.
My contribution is that I want to thank God that God has given us this administration. When you look at where we are coming from, the performance is more than 95%. I hope I had called earlier giving you a lot of reasons due to that. Because when this government came in, we have not any governor that was kidnapped in his house as a sitting governor. Not any governor that was blocked from coming out from his house. We have not any local government or state government that has been withheld its own state allocation. We have not any politician that left this country and went outside for exile. No party chairman that was bundled, and no House of Assembly members that were appointed to do a lot of things. Money were not only paid, but Bellad was paid, outstanding was paid, no worker was sacked. I think one of the major things this government offended people is the blocking of free contracts. Contracts where they will tell you they're giving you work, but not with the intention to do the work. Democracy has been threatened. We have seen publication of allocation. We have seen local government autonomy. We have seen state legislative autonomy and the judiciary. I don't know whether
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine. Quickly, let's have your take.
Benjamin from Narai.
Okay, Benjamin from Narai.
Yes, please.
Quickly, give us your take.
Say again.
What's your impression? What's your contribution to our discussion?
The contribution, I don't know why somebody should be praising this government for any reason.
Everybody have a right to praise or not to praise the government. So give us your own impression.
My own opinion, if I have to score them, I will give them 20%, if at all.
Okay.
Take example from corruption, fighting. Take example of Babachi Lawal. Sorry, I don't know if I'm not to mention names. And few other things that is going on in the corridor of the government, and nobody say anything. The man who is now claiming to be fighting corruption was not even cleared by the National Assembly. The president continued to give him acting that's supposed not to be more than 6 months. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. He remained there, and even with all the evidences they have against him of his properties, our honorable integrity president still did not see anything about it.
Okay.
May God protect Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you so much. And you would be our last caller. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
All right. In 1 minute, let's quickly have your take. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yes, Mr. Sam calling from Rome.
Mr. Sam.
Yeah, what I would say here, first of all, I wait for the youth of today because most of them that are doing PRO job for this government, instead of you to tell them the truth so that they can correct some of the lapses, you will be busy praising them. That is not the problem. I wonder in the next 10, 20 years, most of the politicians today, they will be no more. But you that are doing PRO job for them, well, you and your children. That is that. But on the issue of insecurity, I will say I will give them 2/10. Why the 2? Because there's to an extent there's deployment, but after the deployment, what is the result?
Okay.
There will be a lot of lack of weapons, lack of shots, sellout going on.
Okay.
Then on the issue of economy, nothing. How many investors are confident to come in? Like Katina here, you invest in the next few months. The show of demolition. So you cannot expect the investors to come in and invest their money or build.
All right.
Because building housing is part of investment, but people are afraid to invest because of their harsh policy.
All right, Mr. Sam, quickly.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And I guess that's about the last call we'll take. Let's quickly come to the studio. And Eddie, give us your parting shots.
Thank you very much. My parting shot will be that the man, Francis, who talked about, the issue of the people, I would side with him. I would take side with him, because the essence of this town hall meeting that you organized, and we have given you kudos, is for us to alert government on how we can extend the dividends of democracy to them, because government is about the people. It's not about the privileged few. And unfortunately, my brother Musa Bala is talking about privileged few. Government, democracy is about the masses, about the people. How are the people feeling? Are they better off? Are they more educated? Are their children in school? What about the health conditions? Our health care okay? What about transportation? The transport, is it working? What about issues of, poverty? Is it being addressed? What about issues of women? Are women being carried along? What about issues of children? Children today are being raped here and there. So many issues are there. So I know that the town hall meeting is a continuum, and then you are going to continue with it, and I want to thank you so much, but there are a lot of issues that have not been addressed by this government, and there may be in subsequent town hall meetings. We are going to bring it to the fore, but for now, I want to take side with the people who think that the people matter. Our people, Nigerians' life matter, not the privileged few that Musa Bala is talking about. That they kidnapped a governor. They don't care about governor or whether he was kidnapped. We're talking about the life of the people. Then Nigerian lives matter.
The critical mass.
That should be the narrative. That should be the conversation.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Nigerian life matters. Nigerian lives matters. And Eddie Ochido, thank you so much for having time to be on Ground Zero this evening. I also want to once again thank all those that were part of the town hall meeting earlier today. There's a maiden edition of the Ground Zero town hall meeting, one that was put together by Invicta FM. I'll thank the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. I'd also thank the Director General of the Bureau for Public Service Reform. I will also use this opportunity to thank the Associate Professor, Dr. Obadiah Lafia. Not forgetting to thank also Dr. Cosmas Ayakudo. He is a legal practitioner all the way from the UK. Also, I would say a big thank you to Charles Sado, a structural engineer. He joined us from the United States of America. Charles Sado, thank you so much. And not forgetting too to thank Eddie Ochidbo, Musa Bala, Tony Uranta was supposed to be with us but had technical issues. I wouldn't forget to thank Femi Adi, the secretary, NUJ Kaduna.
And the guy from London.
Yes, Barrister Cosmos Ayakudo from London. I thank you also. I will also want to appreciate other partners that were part of this whole package, starting from the Accountability Lab, CDD, PEL, and also thank House of Justice, not forgetting National Accord, and every other media enterprise. Saxon Echaina of The Guardian, thank you so much. You did add so much value to the program earlier today. And to every other person that I did not remember now to thank, I appreciate and thank you. Together, we can add our voices to make Nigeria a great nation. On Tuesday, you'll listen to a more comprehensive package of what transpired at the town hall meeting. So make it a date with me. So between now and then, I'll say to you, plant the tree today, nurture it and watch it grow. Whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, learn to keep peace with your soul. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all. I am Ehis Admo, the peacemaker with a passion for crowd satisfaction. We'll meet some other time.